I don't know what signal's going to be like. I did a reset on my phone. Um, I know that we've got snow coming in tonight. It'll probably be melted by morning, so I doubt that it'll stick longer than a couple of hours. But that means that we got inclement weather. That's part of the reason why we got the winds and stuff. But the winds aren't nearly as bad as they were last night. So instead of being 50 miles an hour, they're going to be about 35 to 40 miles an hour today. Woo! So I've got a very, let's see here. Is okay, good. Hey, what's up, Matthew? Nice to see you. Mm. So on Tuesday, just to let you guys know. Hey, what's up, Beth? Nice to see you. On Tuesday, just to let you guys know, I am going to be bringing Stephanie on for probably about a 15-minute segment. We're going to sit back. We're going to chit chat about her properties, what she does, and stuff like that. Because I know some of you guys ask questions, and it's like, well, I don't really have the answer to that question. And who better suited than Stephanie? And it'd be a great time because usually I talk to her over the phone, but I've never really seen her face to face. So this will be interesting. But I'm really excited to be able to announce that because I want to be able to at least answer some of your guys' questions when it surrounds that. You guys missed it though. Sam and I woke up early. I went to bed early last night. I was tired. There's really great news. I have a billion questions. Well, you can ask what you want. But honestly, I'd like to invite you all to kind of like over the weekend, maybe over the next couple of days, if you've got questions that you would like to ask, because you can't think of them right off the top of your head. Oh, nice, Arkansas. That's awesome. I hope it works out well for you. That'd be an interesting interview. Yes. But yeah, she called to mention that some stuff was going on. My name got thrown in the mix, so she was just letting me know what was going to happen. And that was my opportunity to ask her for an interview because I was going to ask her on Saturday, and I was going to try and interview her this week, but yeah, I kind of got shiny object syndrome. And with shiny object, yeah. Anyways, I got distracted and I missed the 9 o'clock meeting, and so I took this opportunity to be able to do that. So this is awesome. I'm really excited to see how this all turns out. Because I would like for those of you that are going, well, I'd like to be able. Oh, is Tomcat in here? Oh, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you, Tomcat. All right, a bajillion is a bunch. Yeah, well, you know what? Buying your first property could be scary. I think she may get a sale out of this interview if I can get some questions answered in a serious manner. You probably will. Yeah. Farmer Prepper. Okay. All right. So, but anyways, just yeah, I think it's exciting. I'm glad to see you, Tomcat. I hope you're doing well, man. So, and for those of you guys who don't know who Tomcat is, way back when I kind of he ended up posting one of my videos over on his channel, and it sent a lot of people over here, and it kind of helped me grow my channel. And then after a while, him and I got it seemed like it was a competition, at least for me, because like it's like, man, I keep like nipping on his heels until finally I don't know, have I passed you? How are you doing on subscribers anyways? But yeah, no, I consider Tomcat, he's family. I always go over and check on him and stuff like that. You're far too kind to me. Hey man, you earned it. You're a good person. I know you have your issues, but sometimes you got to look past that to see the core of the human being instead of the surface level shit, because surface level shit is pretty much it kind of shows a lot of shallowness in people. You got to be able to see what's going on in the you got to be able to see what's going on deeper in a person. You double oh, okay, I doubled your subscriber count. I don't know how that happened. But I know you doubled mine, so I think this was just a lot of cross pollination. And because we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. I'm just a lot more reserved than you are, and you're a lot more straightforward. And so, like, if you like stuff like that, now, Tomcat, I really love your podcast, though, buddy. I like it when you get back and you were doing the podcast. I don't know how are you doing with that music? Um, did you consider the other properties on the site? Um, okay, so when did you decide on Arizona and not Arkansas or Colorado? What made Arizona more attractive to you? Matthew? Okay, so I will go over this story again. I'm on the Florida Trail. I'm just outside of Lake City, and I'm having a talk with homeless entrepreneur, and homeless entrepreneur says, "Hey, you keep saying you need to be static. Go get it done." And I said, "Fine, I'll do it." And so I was looking at where I was going. I was already planning on Arizona was kind of my sweet spot, but that's because I follow the Billy Meyer stuff. Oh, what's up, Tricky Dick? Um, you know, I was I follow the Billy Meyer stuff, and Arizona for what's coming is a safer place to be. Okay, I'm never gonna like the weather. The East Coast too humid. The North too cold. The South too hot. I mean, I'm just as bad as Sam. She's bitching at me this morning, going, "It's I want to go outside and play, but it's too cold. Can you warm it up?" And so she's bitching at me because it's too cold outside because she wants to go play. Yeah, that's where Sam and I get along best. So, that being said, I was already talking with Farm Girl, and she kind of knew the lay of the land, and so it was like, okay, I was already planning on Arizona. So if I hang out around her, she'll kind of show me the ropes. I'll have a subscriber that'll kind of help me out, and then things kind of went the way they did. But what ended up happening was because of the situation that she was in, and I didn't want to be homeless anymore. I was ready to get off. I started searching around for places or things that I could do to be able to at least have a static place to stay. And so I searched Craigslist, and I saw this ad, and it says $100 down, $200 a month. And I went, you know what? I know I can make $200 every month. It should not be hard. My bottom at that point in time was like $180. So yeah, $200, not a problem. Should not be a problem. Now my bottom's kind of dropped a lot more since then, but for me, that was that was kind of the way I looked at it. It was a piece of land. It was affordable, and it was my first piece of land. And so when you buy your first piece of land, unless you're trying to like buy the one piece of land that you're never going to move off of, your first piece of land, you should be prepared to make a lot of mistakes on. I learned so much just from the buying process, how to scout a land, how to look at it, stuff like that. But there are certain things that you will never know about the land until you move in on it and you start living on it. For example, community. The more I'm here, the better, the more I like it here, because I'm starting to gain strong ties in the community. I'm starting to network with people. I mean, it took me about 6 months for people to kind of open up and go, okay, we know who this guy is now. He's a regular. He's not a snowbird. He's not some dude, some dumbass or anything else like that. He lives out here with us. And so after people seeing me for a while, they start talking to me, getting to know me, and we go back and forth. I've made friends. I've got a guy that's in the Freeman movement. Him and I talk. Well, he sends me Bible verses every day that I don't read. I keep trying to tell him I'm not Christian, but anyways, but yeah, yeah, in her flatbed Ford. So yeah, yeah, and it was something else though. I gotta say, this is the best decision I've made, and I would love, like, if this area is going to really get overcrowded, that would probably be the one thing that's going to kind of push me out, because I don't want to be crowded. So that means either I get a chance to I either I'll get to you guys' questions here in just a second. I either buy the plots around me and figure out a way to be able to get those plots, or eventually I will wait until I'm stable enough to where I can buy like 10 or 15 acres from Stephanie and go from there. Now Stephanie was, I because I know how the a lot enough about contracting. I was skeptical up to the point until I got that contract. Once I got the contract and I read it, that's what gave me all the comfort, because I'm like, now I have a solid agreement. There is a digital copy of it. I'm protected. I'm safe. I have legal recourse, even if it was, a shady deal. Okay. And even my neighbors around here, they checked up on Stephanie to make sure that I wasn't getting scammed, because they're like, hey, let me check this out for a guy. And then that's what's bringing them into starting to communicate with her, because they're like, oh, okay, she's a legitimate company. So Stephanie is above board, the best person you're going to do business with. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it all boils down to the contract. You can ask all the questions you want. You can be iffy about it all you want. If you need to go, honestly, I was going to buy the land sight unseen. I did not care. What mattered to me was my budget. And I figured I would make everything else work. And it's turned out for the best for me. Okay. So that's kind of that's my process and how I ended up doing it. Hey, Tomcat, if you're still here, what do you think of this? Yeah, this is on my merch shop, by the way. I'm going through TeePublic. It's just a one-sided design. I haven't gotten to fix it yet. So let's see what everybody else was saying, because I saw some. Okay. Spaceship. Okay. Listen to tech. Okay. Thinking about YouTube myself. Well, I put a new song on. I've been working on at work. I wanted to inspire and motivate people in the best way I know how to best. Yeah, I mean, first, I'm not a music person, so that's probably why it doesn't work for me. But if it's working for you, keep doing it, man. But like I said, I really like your heart to heart, like your firesides that you do. I mean, it's nice that you're by a fire, but I like listening to what you actually have to say. So, to a creator in Winslow. Okay. I like to listen to tech. Okay. Life is hard work, but it's beautiful no matter what. Yes, it is. Spaceship landed there. Agreed. Okay. Crater in Winslow, going back to look it up. Okay, yeah. Read them anyway, tech can't hurt. Okay. Would you consider flipping the property, or are you planning to stay long term? That's what I was talking about. If it gets overcrowded, I'm probably going to flip the property and go find a more rural area. I don't want to be around people. I am perfectly happy with a mile between me and most of my neighbors. Okay, that's what I like, and that's the way I want to live. So, that's the big thing there, is Matthew. So where was that? Agreed. Spaceship. Okay, hold on. I saw you. Okay, so but when I flip it, I want to be able to, one, have the property paid off, and two, I won't sell it unless it's at least getting 25 grand for it. Because I mean, that would be 3 times earnings. And then once I sold that, I would be able to get it would probably pay for half of my next property. So, I've been sober for 2 weeks. Congratulations. I'm growing as a man and keeping my life more centered and balanced. I'm still a verbal assassin and a foul mouth, though. So am I. I just temper it. It's something I'd suggest for you, is the biggest problem that the biggest obstacle we have in our life that takes us the longest to learn is that we cause a lot of our problems. Even though we have issues, we played a part in it. And so understanding your role in it helps you understand how not to do it, how therefore it gets you lower stress and a better life. So, okay. So, what are your yearly taxes like for your property? I think it's under $15 a year. Seriously, it's under $15 a year. Now, if I start building on it, it's going to go up. But right now, as a blank slate of land, it's $15, or actually it's like $13 and some change. Yeah, property tax. Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you. Okay. Yes. So, but yeah, you guys will see Tomcat pop in every once in a while. But anyways, so that's kind of it looks like, yeah, we've kind of gotten some stuff going. Sorry, it's a little cold. I haven't put on my thermals yet. Yeah, $15. I'm serious. It's like there's gonna come a point, like after I pay off the property, I'm probably gonna drop like $200 to the tax office and forget about it. When they start sending me letters saying, hey, by the way, you need to you need to you need to pay your taxes. I'll be, oh crap, I forgot. Because it'll like $200 would cover me for what, what, 13 years. Ooh, 13, bad luck. No, it's only 13 is only bad luck within Freemasonry. That's what most people don't realize. In the rest of the world, 13 is a sign of good luck. For the Masons, the reason why the 13th is especially Friday the 13th is such a horrible day for them is because that is when they were essentially wiped out by the French king and betrayed because he owed them money and didn't want to pay it back. So he figured if he wiped them out, he wouldn't have to pay the debt. And so he tried to wipe out the Masons. And so that's kind of how all the folklore about about the Knights Templar turning into the Freemasons and some of the other groups and stuff like that you hear. Those of you that are into conspiracy theory stuff. But I don't know. So there's today's going to be kind of a cool day. I've also been curious to know how far you'd have to drill to get well water there. It depends. We've got to it's gonna cost you. It really will. It's gonna cost you. So once you own full, you can build permanent structure. The property tax will go up. Wonder how significantly good could. You know what? Honestly, that's really not a Stephanie question because she probably wouldn't know that. She might know some basics of it, but that's something you'd have to ask your local your local tax assessor, because they're going to be the ones that are telling you like what your taxes are going to go up and how it's going to raise your value and how often they do appraisals and require new appraisals. Plus, when you go get a permit, now all of a sudden when you add that permit, they've already got a pre-designed value added to it. So they've probably already indirectly done it just by the permits that you get in order to be able to build on your land. And you can't do anything on your land. You cannot live on your land technically without a proper waste system. That's the rule for the ordinance. Again, I'm going to see about not only getting that changed, but seeing what the loopholes are, because I really want to focus on that. Poured a foundation and built tiny. Exactly curious about how much your property taxes would be. Honestly, with that, if you're there's houses out here go for like $50,000-$60,000. So if you're paying, so you'd probably go up to maybe a $500 a year. That would be my presumption. Because I know that there's the house that I walk by, they want like 60 grand for it. A guy, if you put a septic system on your property, it automatically brings up to about 60 grand. You can get a composting septic tank for less money than a regular septic system. Yes, but it also has to deal with the local ordinances and laws. So I would actually have to make sure that I'm compliant and make sure that they have ordinances that recognize that type of stuff. So I may have to petition the county and have them add that as have them as it though. So what's up, Matthew? Nice to see you. Okay, so before I forget, so we are running a contest, okay? Or not a contest. This is how, okay, so you guys hear me talk about all the projects I want to do. This is how I fund my projects, okay? Is a user-funded, user-based reward system, we'll call it. What's a contest? I don't know what to call it yet, guys. You guys are gonna have to help me come up with a name for it, so that because right now every time I try and talk about it, I stutter. Okay, but in order to be able to get a raffle ticket, you got to put $10 out, either in super chat or come over and get a membership. If for every $10 that you do, you get a ticket to go into the raffle. If you get a membership, either on I'm gonna push everybody to Patreon. I'm working on what's going on over here, but I'm gonna push everybody over to Patreon. So if you get a paid membership over there, you get double tickets. So Rebel Watcher is 1 ticket, Digital Homesteaders 2 tickets, and then the Sovereign Operator would get you 4 tickets. Now, what is it that you win? You win. First prize is the Sovereign Operator membership, a 1 month free membership, plus a digital download of any of the ones that I have that are out in the public. Second prize is an unreleased digital download. Now, these are pictures and content and stuff like that that I have from Trail. You guys get to see a little bit of the videos, but I'm putting the pictures in there. So they're usually about 100 or so per bundle. So you're getting a definite good value. But anyways, you get an unreleased bundle, which for this month will be the will be my pictures from the AT. Okay. And third prize gets a 1 month free membership to what is it, to a digital homesteader. Okay, so you'll get a lot of stuff. So the tickets that we have right now, we have a total of 22 tickets. Okay, It's Just Me has 10 tickets. Matt the King has 6 tickets. Rails has 4 tickets. Mitch has 1 ticket, and DJ Elf has 1 ticket. If anybody would like to increase their or get in this raffle, because on the 1st of every month, so on May 1st, we will have a raffle. Beth will be reminding me on May 1st, we will be doing a raffle, and the top 3 prize earners will get it, and we'll do that. So, yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of it has to do. If it wasn't for It's Just Me, I would be struggling right now. It's Just Me basically turned my month around, and I really, really appreciate what he did, especially what his response was. Okay, you're taken care of, now get to work. And it was like, you know what? Touche, I'm on it. And as you guys see, I've been fucking putting shit out and putting shit out and putting shit out. And I am putting out content as quickly and as much as I possibly can with the time limitations and stuff. So I got to throw out a big thanks, because this is what, not only this is what helps me help me go, but yeah, the two biggest contributors this month, who honestly, you guys came through in a month when I really, really, really needed it. So it is Matt the King and It's Just Me. I got to say a special thanks to both of you guys. Now, what our overall goal is to push as many people over to Patreon. Why Patreon? Because what we're going to do is we're divesting from YouTube. Okay, in a lot of ways, because YouTube is now starting to be malicious towards creators in an indirect way, maybe not intentional, but what it's doing is it's putting the pressure on you. And so if you're an established creator, you're surviving, but you're not doing as well as you were. If you are a up and coming creator like me or Tomcat or others that have been on the channel that are content creators, we're really feeling the pinch, because views drop, retention and click-throughs and pay is dropped. A lot of stuff is dropping for us because they're integrating artificial intelligence into the search. Thank you, Captain. They're integrating artificial intelligence into their search engine to a point where the Google search engine will no longer be in a couple of years. Watch, it won't be. Right now, Grok and ChatGPT are competing to dethrone Google, in the same way that the Chinese are dethroning the United States. If you guys watched my short this morning, you guys will hear my opinion on that subject, but it is what it is. This is what's concerning me, what I keep hearing creators say about YouTube. What other things have you heard creators say about YouTube? And Tomcat, how is this affecting you? Because this started about 6 months ago. At least for me, it did. So, all right, hold on, guys. I want to have a cigarette. We'll still be profitable for a while. Yes. And I've been saying this since I first started. I said, I even told people, I said, look, YouTube isn't going to be around forever. The content creator. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, yeah, he probably had to head to work. You guys should check out his channel. He's a pretty cool dude. You should definitely check him out. Like I said, he's a good friend of the channel. Yeah, he's rough around the edges, so you better be prepared for it. But you know what? He tells it real. But he's doing the best he can. So, anyways, what's up, Jaya? What's up, Wildcat? Okay. So, anyways, with that being said, the whole premise is that YouTube was never going to be around forever. I know YouTube's not going to be around forever. I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that, because what that means is I have to build a brand and a platform of my own. Just back in the day when they said, well, learn how to code. Well, now the new thing is learn how to build your own private platform. That's what they're going to tell you. What's up, Grease? So that's really what YouTube and these social media platforms, because I'll tell you from a business standpoint, and I tell you I've been through it too, because you're looking at it and you're looking at how much money you're going in, and if I had a few more dollars, I could do something more with it. I might be able to hire another employee. I might be able to do some other stuff. I might be able to do these things. And so what you start doing, and it's just the unintended consequence of big business, is you start looking like, how can I do this cheaper? How can I cut my cost? And you start looking at different ways to cut your cost, because you want to keep as much money as possible in your pocket and have less of it going out. It's just the nature of the beast of being a business owner. Whether it's ethical or not, that is to be debated. But as far as the way that the business climate is, if you're going to ever start a business, this is something that you as a human being need to be prepared for. You're always going to be looking how to cut your bottom line. This is why companies are adopting AI like it's going out of business. Okay, so YouTube doing this because they're putting more ads on newer creators that are not monetized, and are therefore they're pushing their content, because what they do is they want the more ad dollars. Because how does this affect YouTube's bottom line? Well, they're probably getting 20% higher revenue, because now instead of giving it to us who've sat there and worked hard and built an audience and worked for it, they're trying to keep the money in their pocket by giving it to people they don't have to pay, pushing them up in the algorithm. But as soon as they get paid, boom, you're gone. Because that's what they're doing, is they're in a way it's making it look like, look, YouTube gives away $64 million a day. Yeah, but how much money did they take from content creators by what you could almost call it unethical or shady practices? Because yes, YouTube is its own platform, but the creators are the advertisement. Without the creator creating it, without that stuff going on, YouTube's ecosystem would be like Odysseys right now. Okay, what's up, Kung Fu? Nice to see you. Part of it is the algorithm. The thing is it's making, because I'm even trying to figure out how do I get more views on my news for the news articles. I literally have to do fear-based clickbait to get any push in the algorithm. Because here's the thing, that's what people click on. Because the algorithm is only going to give you what you want. That's what people click on, so that's what the algorithm wants. And so therefore, if you don't put that in the algorithm isn't going to give you impressions. It's just going to put you out nonchalantly like, we'll see if people like this or not. Okay, because it's not fear-based clickbait, because that's what people started clicking on in the beginning. And so therefore, that is what it's been trained on. And for however many years, it's been giving you an echo chamber. It's been everything. So if you look up how to be homeless, well, you know what? Now all of a sudden you're going to start getting videos about how to be homeless. But if you're a prepper and you are looking at how to prepare for homelessness, well, I now have a video that says how to prepare for homelessness. So instead of, even though I'm in one community, I'm talking to another community, so therefore that brings them over. But then if it's not fear-based clickbait, then I'm not getting the push that I would think I would need. Well, yes, we talked about this. I think it was not, if it wasn't last night, it was the night before, about how AI is manipulating everything. We have the 2026 election is up for grabs. The 2026 election is something that is there that is going to cause a lot of issues, because AI is doing deep fakes. You can create agents that will sit there and just do mass posting. So something that would take a team of 100 people, your AI agent can do in a matter of minutes or hours, just by if you train it right. So again, it comes to who writes better software, who's got better technology, because you're going to have to learn to discern. This is why you want some sort of code word between you and your family. That way you're talking to a human. You need to do more face-to-face, like FaceTime, Messenger, stuff like that. Because then that way you're talking to a real human. Because the thing is if you even look, the AI likeness image that it gives of me, it makes me look 20 years younger, and it makes my beard look a lot better kept than what it was at the time. Oh, by the way, I have this in the merch shop. It's on sale right now for $16. Morning, Tommy. right now, but that it will end tomorrow because I uploaded as a new design. Once I put a new design in there, then you get T Public sets all my prices because it'll go from $16 up to $26. So if you want one, go and get one now because it's like $16, plus whatever shipping, and you'll get a cup like this. It's a beautiful cup. And it's a snarky way to be able to tell people around you, you know what, I don't care. It's kind of like, don't talk to me. I haven't had my coffee yet. All right. Let's see here. Can you tell us what happened with Bushcraft Tuck? I'm new to the channel. Greece, we're not going to talk about bushcraft anymore. Okay. And I'm going to say this, now that you've brought it up, it gives me an opportunity to say this. Okay. When I was having that complaint of like, how do you get 500 concurrent viewers? Being the type of creator that he is, how is it that he's doing it, with everything that I'm seeing? And after what I saw, and his reaction and everything like that, his channel is based upon drama. Okay, that's what attracts people. That's why he has, and without the drama, he doesn't have any fuel. And I'm not going to let him use me as fuel to fuel his drama, to line his pockets, because he's incapable of having any original thought. Okay, so what I'm going to start doing, and at least for a while, is I'm going to start asking my moderators to be a lot more strict. People that come in here start asking about bushcraft, no, we need to I want this fire to burn out. I'm not going to let him capitalize on me. Okay. So therefore, yeah. So anyways, I don't want the drama because I don't want to fuel his channel. So if somebody mentions bushcraft, put them in a 10-minute timeout, make an announcement in chat. We're not, you know what? You don't need to explain it. Just mention it. Okay. We're not mentioning that name. You can call him Voldemort, but you don't call him by his name. He who shall not be named, we'll call him Voldemort. Okay. And so with Voldemort, I want to stamp out his trolls, because here's the legalese of everything. Okay. With what he did and how he did it, he could seriously get in a lot of legal trouble if he keeps doing it, and I get pissed off, because they made laws about cyberbullying, because the kids would come home from school and the bullies would go online and start going after him. When you start sending people to harass and cause issues and be a disruptor in a chat room or online in any digital realm, that fits within the criteria of what do they call it, digital bullying or cyberbullying. I'm sorry. So and then also with the Patriot Act, because it's public, this is why you don't make any personal threats or any threats on any social media platform, is because the Patriot Act says that if you make a threat or an act of violence in the public, they can, depending on specific criteria, they can charge you as a domestic terrorist. That's what the Patriot Act did. So if you go up and go, I'm a, and the person says, well, and can prove it, they can charge you with domestic terrorism. So, anyways, these are the different things. So when you think, for those people that want to get aggro, okay, that you want to get aggro online, you got to realize that you better treat it like you're in a legal process. You're in a courtroom, because you technically are. If you are in the digital realm anyway, this is just the way it is. And so I tell people, it's like, yes, I talk like I'm in a legal process. I'm precise. I make sure that I state that these are my opinions, because anytime you say you make a definitive statement as a fact, you now suffer the consequences of possible liability for positive or negative. It doesn't matter. Okay. This is just the way it is. So if you're going to be a social media person, you cannot be direct. That is why you have platforms like Patreon. Or once I get enough money, I can actually build out my site, because I have to, in order to be able to transfer memberships over there, so on and so forth. But in order to be able to have your privacy, you have to be behind a paywall, to where then I can make definitive statements like, here's how it is. I know this because I've experienced it. Yes, I'm talking about an experience, but I'm also making definitive statements because I know what is to be fact. I can't necessarily do that on YouTube. YouTube will censor you. I've already been through their digital re-education camp about a year ago now. And when I went and I did that digital re-education camp, YouTube rewarded me. And that's how I ended up getting to about 7,000 subscribers and had one video take off. Because right after I did that, they took my strike away, and all of a sudden my channel just went boom. So anyways, but okay. Captain, you're talking about the effects of homelessness. Sadly, just the way some folks are, I suppose. Yeah. So I just saw his channel was about products, so I was just wondering. Oh, okay. So, anyways, but yeah, my what's up, Ryan? Okay, so let's see here. BEA, beautiful mug. I like that. Tommy, Duck, you might test Off-Grid Rebel News for title with the short blurb of the top story. Okay. Yeah, I was told by Homeless Entrepreneur there is actually an organization called Rebel News. So I'm not. I'm wait if they decide to send me a cease and desist on the Rebel News, then I want to see what their premise and what their reasoning, what their grounds are. If it's legit, great. If it's not, I'll go through the contention process with them. But apparently there already is. So I want to, yeah. So Off-Grid Rebel News, that'll be a nice change. It'll avoid any potential copyright violations. It's a Canadian news station. Also have stuff in Australia. Okay. Well, maybe I might want to reach out to them and see if they want to syndicate me then, because Homeless Entrepreneur met them in Davos. And he says that they're a really good bunch of guys. I mean, he says, yeah, they're gonna come when they go. And I think that if the way he describes them is really what they are, oh man, that would be a group I would definitely love to be associated with. Way back when the Tea Party movement started. Hold on, guys. Way back when the Tea Party movement started, I can't remember. Blog Talk Radio. Anybody old enough to remember Blog Talk Radio? So I was doing a political newscast on Blog Talk Radio. So yeah, I've been trying to get into the digital economy for years, and I didn't understand it, but I also didn't try and learn it until recently. Okay. But anyways, I was doing good. I'd have like 30, 40 people show up, and considering Blog Talk was as competitive as YouTube back then, doing that. And I actually had Tea Party representatives that were recruiting me and my dad, because he was my partner, that was recruiting me and my old man to be syndicated by the Tea Party, because I aligned with them the way I thought. Now, I was more Tea Party than my old man, but because my old man was conservative, they wanted the conservative side. But the Tea Party movement was more of a libertarian movement than it was an actual conservative movement. But yeah, anyways, would you, I wonder if I started, if instead of doing, no, because, well, here's the thing. I need 10 members. I need to add 10 paid members. God damn it. Yeah, I need to add 10 paid members to my Patreon. And if you guys want me to, instead of doing the news segment this way, to kind of do it like on a radio show, because I have no visuals, it's easier on your ears, you get to listen to it, whatever. We could go set up something like Blog Talk, maybe, if it's still around. I'm pretty sure it is. but set up something like that, and then we could do a radio show and do something like that. Because quite frankly, conservatives own the radio waves. I'm not a conservative. I'm a libertarian. That's why I talk about Glenn Beck versus the who's the new up and coming is kind of like he's a former FBI agent. I don't like the guy. I can't stand him. He's too authoritarian for me. So. But okay, let's see here. There, got you. Okay. Tech, I asked AI to help me developing a second action game, and it says yes, he's already to help me. It's already said development of a 2D game. Easy AI written some code to create. Well, do you have knowledge of code though? Because the AI, even me, when I use AI, I have to make sure and fact check it because it still hallucinates. It just doesn't hallucinate as much as it does. And if you're not paying attention, you're screwed. Widowed school teacher here, scared but refusing to flinch on here, trying to learn smart preparedness. Well, Beth, you've definitely come to the right place. I mean, there's good preppers out there, but my philosophy is this. There's plenty of preppers out there. There's plenty of people out there talking about daily news stuff. You want to watch daily news? Go watch Pinball Preparedness. Go watch Poplar Preparedness. Okay, those guys are very those guys are those guys handle the news. I'm putting a rebel spin on the news, but the only way in which I could like justify me even getting into the news is that I'm not just sitting there saying, hey, here's what's going on. AI is doing deepfakes. Da, 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 da. I'm saying AI because this is what all the news channels do. This is what they do. But do any of them ever offer you solutions? Like, okay, now we know AI is doing deepfakes. Here's how we do it. Here's some things that you can do to be able to circumvent, to be able to mitigate your risk. I think that is more valuable than news, because news is information, but if you don't know what to do with that information, you're kind of screwed. So I think that the format of my evening podcast on news is going to change just a little bit. Okay. I searched Google if it's possible to make a 2D game. Yeah, I saw that. Absolutely. Yeah. Most preppers are just trying to market overpriced gear. Yeah. Well, the thing is it's about commissions. And if 2 or 3 people buy it, you at least get a payout. Versus the 99-cent, $10, $20 stuff that I put out on my affiliate links. Dude, I gotta sell like 100 items to get a payout. So it's just me. Grown kids aren't paying attention. Well, Captain, that's I'm sorry to hear that, but it seems to be common. Tuck, when I decided to take help from AI, the code it provided didn't work, so I then keep searching for game development codes on Google. You're gonna have to get to something that's paid to do something like that. Chat GPT can do that. You might also want to ask your because there's programs out there that does all your PHP and your SQL and stuff like that. Now you just like put it into play and find the bugs and then tell it where to fix the bugs. You can do that, but that's going to take a lot longer, and you might as well just develop the game from scratch your own anyways, because you're just going to sit there and play it and you know it inside and out. So I started following Tuck when he was on trail before Sam. Oh wow, you've been watching me that long. And when Leprechaun was around. Leprechaun. Okay, so that was my first time in Cincinnati. It's been interesting following the journey. So you saw me the first time I jumped trails, or I jumped my train. Can you tell us if they are just trying to sell products? Can you tell if they're just trying? Well, here's the thing. Even me, okay, I got to sell products. It's not about the products that they're selling. Okay, that's the misnomer, and that's what's really screwed up. Because if I was Alex Trebek and I was doing Paul Revere insurance, everybody knows that Alex Trebek's getting a kickback, and he got paid to do that. It's understood. But as YouTubers, we're like, everybody looks at us and go, oh yeah, these guys are just advertising, because you had a few guys that were using the affiliate marketing and just took products and kept selling it because he reviewed it, people liked it, and they thought it was good. We all get burned that way. But does that mean that selling on YouTube is bad? No. But the common misconception is that you're not allowed to sell on YouTube. You're not allowed to make money off YouTube. You're just a lazy grifting bum if you're trying to get off of YouTube. But yet, the thing is, millions of creators provide value, offer great products, and have good things. The creators that you want to buy products from are the creators that are selling the products that they use on a daily basis. Okay, that's how you tell if, are they using it? Because I've heard stories of how what they do is they will just send it, and like they'll send it to 10 different creators. So you got to keep it in nice mint condition, keep it good, sit there, do the demo, put it back in the mail, and it gets shipped off to the next creator, and so what everybody's doing is they're getting it on loan. Those are the creators that you got to watch out for. I don't know exactly how to tell, but you'll kind of get your spidey senses will tingle, okay, when it comes to something like that. So how do you figure those people out? Ask them if they actually use it, because the products that I sell, you guys, I use, if it wasn't for my solar setup, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I love my solar setup. It's a 100-watt solar setup. I got through AutoZone. I got a marine battery. I got an inverter, and now I have my whole power setup. I've got light at night. I've got power for my phone. I've got all these different stuff. So I use it. I say this is a good product. So something like that, because I use it and I talk about it and I know it and I rave about it because I really think it was a good product. I'm happy with my setup. You would be too. Okay, if you are looking for that setup. But then you also have the ability to ask questions like, hey, I've got this setup, would this work for me? Or you might want to look around and do your own research. But usually that's why I rave about Stephanie. I use Stephanie because I bought a piece of land from her, and in my customer experience, I loved. Sorry, my buddy's trying to call me. I'll have to call him later. But she the customer service that she gave, the transparency that she gave, and how easy and wonderful and hassleless the whole process was. But you got to be realistic and know what the fuck you're getting into too. That's what most people don't realize. Oh, I bought it, and then you have your buyer's remorse. No. Expect to have a little bit of buyer's remorse. Even I had a tiny bit of buyer's remorse. I'm like, I could have done better, but I knew this was my first piece of land. I'm going to make mistakes. Lesson learned. Now, but you know what? The more I'm on the land, the more I'm like, I actually like it, and I'm glad I'm here, because that buyer's remorse is just you didn't fully understand the full development of the land. Now that you understand it, great. Now that buyer's remorse is gone, and now you're even more happy with what it is that you have. And that's why I'm extremely ecstatic with Stephanie. And that's why I like my solar setup. And the stuff that is down in my description are products and they have been for the last 3 years. The products that are down in the description are products that I have bought and used myself. Okay. If I don't like them, I remove them because I don't want to have my name attached to it. Because sometimes what I'll do is I'll get it, I'll unbox it, I'll think I got a great product, I'll put it down in my links. And then a couple months later, I'll be like, yeah, this ain't good. Delete, throw it away, give it away, whatever. Because I don't want other people coming back and buying that. So I mean, how much for the land I'm on? It's like $8,000 is what I paid, but prices are going up. Californians are coming in, so you better get in now. But she's got property in Colorado, Arizona, and Arkansas. How do I? Well, Captain, the easiest way to say that is I have a 75-liter backpack that I put everything in. So if I got to go to the post office, I go up there and I schedule my days around that and kind of how it works. Because it's about a 7 to 10 mile round trip walk, plus interactions with neighbors. I'm also curious about how he gets and often gets provisions. Well, I showed you, go watch my freeze-dried live stream that I did where I reviewed all the freeze-dried stuff. This is stuff that I get every month. These are products that I've used multiple times. Now that I've got to try and sample all the different ones, now they've got like a hamburger mac, and I saw Popular Preparedness has that. Next month I want to see if I can find it because I want to try that. It sounds so good. It does. And it's from Mountain House, so I know it's going to be good. I don't have a problem with Mountain House. I have a problem with Augustin Farms. But anyways, I get my stuff canned in, or I go to the local store, which is right across the street from the post office. I fill up my backpack, and I walk 3.5, 4 miles home. Okay, with that filled up, usually about 40 pounds or something like that. Mountain House, yeah, well, they're preferred by most hikers. That's how I got turned on to Mountain. That's how I know who Mountain House is. You can't go into any hiking store without Mountain House products. I think they're overpriced, but they're also pretty good. So I mean, I pay for the price because I know it's good. Must be hard to get fresh produce out there. Yes and no. There are plenty of gardeners and farmers around here. I'm waiting for growing season. Plus, I'm trying to get my stuff once by the end of this year, if everything works out the way I hope it does, because I need to get some potting soil, and some other stuff to be able to finish up my garden so that I can get. I want to start looking at heirloom seeds. Now, I know Outdoors gave me some seeds. Nobody can confirm whether or not they work, and I don't want to take a risk on my growing season. So, because it's only 3 months. And so I want to get as much as I possibly can with it. So if I were homeless, I would build a tree house for me in the jungle. Well, Jay, if your country allows that, great. But not here in the States. Every piece of land is owned by someone. So nobody has property rights. Okay. Because if it's not federal land, it's private land. And you can't be on federal land and you can't be on private land, so you got nowhere to go. They basically, they're to be a nomad. You are a serial trespasser. Mm. Yeah, well, Southern California just got burned to the ground. I will survive on a treehouse. I hope so. I really do, because I honestly, if I could have gone out and just gone out in the woods now, yeah, I could go way out there, but I'm not skilled enough to be way out there. I have not developed the skills. In my quest to be able to to survive, I am doing the digital economy, homeless jungle homesteading. That would be cool. So, but anyways, Greece is always I have my own house. Treehouse is awesome. Yeah, a treehouse would be awesome. Okay. All right, guys. You guys know how to join the rebellion and become a subscriber if you're not a subscriber. Hit that bell notification, because YouTube will not tell you that I'm live or anything else like that without it. I get a lot of people telling me that even people that have the bell notification on, that YouTube doesn't even send them the notifications. So if it happens to you, you're not the only one. It's very common. I think they only send out to about 20%. And it's usually the people that are most likely to engage. And then they just slowly put out, like, I get notices, because I have it on the all bell notification, and I get notices 3 days later that a video dropped. It's like 3 days later. That's kind of messed up. I should know about it when it comes out, especially if I've got the bell notification turned on. But YouTube is doing its own thing. Yeah, okay, some land should be spared for the public, not land should be. Well, that's what the whole BLM land is, but now they won't even let the homeless stay on it. But in their own in their own defense, they kind of do trash the place. In this channel, I know. Yes, my audience is 35 to 55. We're the end of Gen X, and maybe a few boomers in here, but mostly it's Gen X that's in here. Well, and the reason why is because I'm Gen X, so therefore I'm on the cusp of Gen X millennial, but I tend to align, and a lot of my upbringing was Gen X style versus millennial style. I guess you're only as old as you feel, off and on. Yeah. Okay. Turn notification off and on will sometimes help people. Yeah. Joanna does that every day now. And I think that that's bullshit. Like, you didn't have to restart your phone every single day. Now you have to restart your phone 2-3 times a day. That's what's messed up. Okay. But anyways, okay. So Tuck, I seen a guy who is homeless. He lives in the jungle, free from. Yeah, there's a guy in Florida that does that. He goes and carves his way out. But the thing is, in Florida, they push you out into state forest, and then they round you up and send you to jail, unless you're really good at hiding and you don't leave a mess. See, that's the big problem. The reason why the homeless are constantly getting messed with is because they can't stop leaving messes. Part of it's because the city doesn't provide adequate trash receptacles. In Gainesville, they do, and where they do, there's no trash, but where they don't, it's trashed. Okay, that's just the way it is. That's why San Francisco and Portland are green cities, because they've got a San Francisco has the best trash system. Like about every half a block, you have a trash receptacle with recycling in it, so you can throw your crap away. So therefore, there's no need for trash to be there. Okay, so Tuck was born in the 80s. Yes, I was born at the beginning of the 80s. Off-grid allowed. How about Northern California? Any off-gridding allowed? No, because you're going to be dealing with the growers. Humboldt, Mendocino, and Chico County, the Tri-County area. Those guys, and then you've got cartels that are working around that. So it wouldn't be a good idea. So, hey, I haven't had breakfast. I'm gonna show you guys my breakfast. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see if I can get this on camera. All right, hold on. There's my cup. So I got to put 1 cup of water. Sam, I did not invite you. Yeah, the other day I had dog hair in my milk, so I had to give it to her. Okay, so I got a cup of water that I put in here. Okay, I'm gonna turn this a little bit so that you guys can see. Okay, can you guys see? Okay, so where's my Nido? There's my Nido. So for every 1 cup of water, you want 3 scoops of Nido. Okay. Now, the reason why I like Nido is because it basically instantly dissolves. Even if it clumps up a little bit, it doesn't like the other stuff. Okay. This is a tablespoon. Okay. And even in my coffee, I do 1 tablespoon. But it easily, quickly dissolves. It bonds really easy, really well. Actually, when I look these guys up, this is actually stuff like for nursing mothers that want to give their child like real milk versus breast milk. And so that's probably why this is so good, is because this is actually meant for this was and why it has all the nutrients and why it's so good for you is because it's for the children. That's who their primary market is young mothers who want to give their children milk. And this actually tastes just as good as real milk. Okay. So as you see, it doesn't really take a lot. Okay. And as you see, that is the thickness of the milk. Now, this is whole milk. I always do whole milk. I don't do anything else like that. But then I take my Chestnut Hill dollar store stuff. Let me see. Okay. And I just put some in there. And voila. So 1 box of cereal costs less than a dozen eggs. So I'm running low on my stamps. So I decided to just go with that and do my milk that way. Okay. So fingers crossed. Yeah. And sweet. Okay. But yeah, this is, yeah, I mean, and then I could just have a basic bowl of cereal because I don't have refrigeration or anything else like that. See, it's about finding good products. Like out of all of the freeze-dried stuff I do, the 2 that I rave about most is Nido and Mountain House. Now I do love Samantha. Go lay your butt down. Lay down now. She thinks that this is hers. She's like, "Where's my cut? Where's my cut?" But anyways, Northern Central counties, some friendly people living there. Okay. Ideally, land slope stream. Okay. 300 feet. Okay. I'm the thing is, I'm a Pisces. Okay. Yeah, check Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas would be good for you. Any land with stream is going to be 5 times more. It's waterfront. I'd pay for it because that's important to have. Like the next piece of land that if I move out of this area, that is going to be a required. So that may mean I have to go to Colorado. I don't care. I mean, as long as it's after the nuclear exchange. Mm. Mm. So I have a question for you guys. Who here, type 1 if you've heard it, 2 if you haven't. Who here has heard that Trump and China are in talks? Worth the cost, I'd imagine, especially if you get water rights to it. Yeah. A victim has to be 100 from the well, 50 feet from neighboring property. Well, oh wow, that's really tight. So on an acre, that's going to be a tight fit. On one hand, I wonder how long Tuck will be on YouTube. I will be here until it goes away. I'm never going away from YouTube. I mean, I get angry and I say I might, but for the most part, no. I like what I do. I like the community that I have. I just got to find something. I got to figure out ways to bring enough value for you guys to want to invest in me. Pace in Arizona, maybe snow, maybe not. Yeah. Each state has their own rules for things. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So one of you have heard of it. Okay. I say 3 years tops. Why do you say 3 years, Grease? That requires funding. I'm not going to do anything like that until I fix up my trailer, Giant. But yes, and this weekend, that's what I'm going to be working on. Is I'm going to be working on a video that talks about not only what my monthly budget is, but the types of funds that you're going to have to figure out to raise to be able to do repairs and like what things are going to cost and stuff like that. So that video should be coming out next week. No, it's not. It's rough because I'm learning a whole new way to do a business. I did not. It took me owning my janitorial business. It took me 3 years to figure it out, to understand it. That's why it took me that long just to figure out that I needed to get rid of my partner and that I could do it on my own without her. And that was the hardest the hardest leap. But when you start learning to stand on your own 2 feet, it gives you a whole different perspective. It's about a learning curve. Some people come on YouTube and they think, oh, I'm just going to do YouTube and not learn. Okay, they're not doing any self-education. I was in the IT field, requires continuous education. I've been in the financial industry, requires continuous education. Anything that's going to pay you and pay you well requires continuous education. Most people just want to go point, click, record. Why am I not getting paid? Okay, and so yeah, that's why it seems hard. But for me, it's about priming my audience. I'm rebuilding my audience after I'd already built an audience because I transitioned from being homeless to now I'm a digital homesteader. A lot of people followed me because they liked me on trail and they like seeing the different scenery. Now I have the same static scenery. Not as many people are interested. So I'm rebuilding my audience. In 3 years, I will probably have somewhere around 50 to 100,000 subscribers. And in 3 years, I will probably be making 5 to 10 grand a month. And if I'm not, I will have to reevaluate why I'm doing it. And then, yeah, you might be right. Hard to make money. So Sam needs real dog food. I got to go feed my dogs. No, the Captain Apana, I actually heard from a lady that's got like a 26-year-old dog that still acts like a puppy, that she does not feed her dog food. She feeds it table scraps and table scraps only, but she's very cautious about what she feeds it, but she still feeds her dog real food instead of kibble. And quite frankly, when Sam eats table scraps, she doesn't really go after cat holes anymore. So yeah, constantly learning AI and the internet, useful tools. Yes, I'm learning about annuities and CDs, the way making, yeah. And you might also want to look into tax liens too. Um, if you come here, I'll introduce you to a guy. But if you're in like Arkansas or Colorado, you're gonna have to find someone in your local neighborhood. But there are people that do tax liens, and that's how they get extra property, and then you can flip it if you want it. Mm. 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 But okay, so yes. So anyways, yeah, I want to push everybody over to Patreon because we need to divest. The content creators of the future are going to be, you don't know what a tax lien is? That means you haven't paid your taxes. That a tax lien gets paid before the bank. A tax lien gets paid before anything else. The only thing that will get paid before a tax lien is a UCC1 lien, and you better know how to implement one of those because they don't want you knowing about it. They definitely don't want you knowing about it. Mm. So let's say that I don't sell my, or I don't pay my taxes for 3 years. That's $45, right? So now what the county is going to do is they're going to put a tax lien on my property, which means if I sell this property, then they get their money, and then I get the rest of what's left over. It's a way to keep you from stiffing the government. And so what happens is if a private person comes and says, okay, I will take care of that tax lien, I will buy that lien off of you. Okay, so now the government gets the money because they need the money to be able to fund it. The lien is just, it's a collateralized debt, but it doesn't really work for them. Okay, they need cash on hand. They don't need a promise that when we don't know when you're going to get paid. So then if they rack up a large enough bill, then what you can do is force the foreclosure of the land, and in order to get your money, because this is exactly what the tax assessor is going to do to you. But you can do it on a private level, which is you're funding your local government, making sure that it has cash, and in return you might be able to capitalize on your investment, because the city is not looking to make money on different things. So this is a way for you to be able to get property at an inexpensive rate. But that's the whole purpose behind tax liens. I was looking at tax liens as early as like 2002, 2003. They were doing infomercials on them. It's a very common way for people to do investments. Mm. 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 How did you create thumbnails for your video? I've been using AI. I give it directions, tell it what I want the picture to look like, and it gives it to me. It's my creativity. I just don't know how to. I'm just not very good at putting it together in the elements that I need it to. I know what I want it to look like, but I just don't know like how to put it together. I'm not that skilled on Canva, and I just don't have the technology and all that other stuff. So, use ChatGPT or Grok. Okay, I'm a big fan of Grok, except for Grok sucks at image generation. I will tell you that much. Mm. Mm. There you go. There's your cut. The dog got a cut. Mm. All right, that's good. All right, let's see here. Okay. Okay. So AI is useful when it comes to creativity. I use Grok too. Yeah. Well, I have to switch between Grok and Sam. Quit chewing on that. I usually switch between Grok and ChatGPT because I'm still using it for free, and you only get so many credits and so many questions that you can answer. And like I go really. Over there. I go really deep when I start going in with the AI bot, because I mean, if you had every answer with a keyboard stroke away, would you ask those questions or would you not be interested? And what questions would you ask? That's what it's like asking a chatbot. But the thing is you better be willing to push back. You better be willing to verify, because it's not 100% accurate. You got to, like, it puts out, there was one time where I went and I verified the story, and it gave the opposite information than in the outline. So if I hadn't gone and verified it, then I would have been giving misinformation, and then that would have destroyed my credibility. Do not rely on artificial intelligence to do everything for you. It helps you with the monotonous tasks. Like, hey, I need a script written. Here's mine. Oh, okay. I got to tell you. So last night I created 3 prompts. I created a prompt that would give me the top 5 news stories, but with a twist. And then I got a prompt that allows me to go through and do an outline. So it takes all that information and compiles it down. And then the follow-up prompt is it takes all that information, is turning it into a script that meets the criteria of the previous 2 prompts. And then what it does is it prompts me to where now, okay, so it has its data, like 20% of this, and 3 million make, all the stats that I'm never going to remember because my brain doesn't retain stuff like that. It takes all that and weaves that in with my response. So as I go and I research this article, then I get to put my personal input, my personal spin on it. And then what it does is it weaves its stuff with my stuff, and then I still got to go back and reread it. But then quite frankly, I was really, really satisfied with the overall results, because not only does it help me make sure that, because like last night there was some stuff that I didn't talk about, that even because it was part of the freeform section, that was on my mind that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't get to because I didn't remember it. And so having that there as like the reminder is kind of like having an assistant that's there to kind of compensate for the fact that I have memory issues due to brain damage. Okay, so that's just something that is that I've started using Grok for, and I'm using the chatbots for. Tonight's articles are going to be like that, but what they're going to do is they're going to be more condensed, and it's going to be more open talking. Okay, so we are going to that's kind of going to be where we're going to be at. But anyways, guys, I got to get to work. Got a lot of stuff to do. I know a lot of you guys probably got to get to work, got things to do. Thank you for being here. Come on over to Patreon. I'd love to see you over there. Starting next week, I will be kind of giving reminders of things that are going on. I'm going to do a random live this weekend if I can, because I need to move my fire pit. And I need to dig a hole so that I can turn it into my little burn pit, so that I can start, getting rid of my trash and cleaning up my property a little bit. Because apparently I'm not going to be getting a ride to the dump. So I need to figure out another way to do it. I can do burn barrels. So probably Sunday, because it's supposed to snow and be cold tomorrow, or tonight and tomorrow. And so it's not going to be warm until Sunday. So I will probably be doing that Sunday. So keep an eye out. I will post it in, or it'll be public. All right. So, and then next week we'll start with the private. Thanks for being here, guys. I will see you tonight in tonight's live stream. Kentucky, my country YouTuber made $500,000 by YouTube video. Yeah. People do it all the time. Not everybody does it. It's kind of like a stroke of luck, or it's just something that works. That was all right. Thanks, guys. See you tonight.